So, good evening, friends, and welcome to Career Pathshala. We are stunned to see 28 comments in our first second of joining in the show. We welcome the viewers to this special power panel discussion with eminent personalities from the industry. We are thankful to have and we welcome the people from the industry who took out their time on this Sunday to interact with the fresh talent with the youth of this country. And let me take this honor to welcome Srivatsa sir from Tech Systems, Shiva from
So,
Cognizant. We have Kunal from Extria, and we also have Saurabh Narayan from Capgemini. Niharika, your my co-host and student representative, representing 17,000 students who registered for this event from 50 cities of the country, from the CII and Young Indian Network. So, on behalf of all the young fraternity, CII, Young Indians, we take this opportunity to welcome you and we thank you for the time you spared and for this very valuable talk of today and open discussion on how COVID and the placement scenarios will be around in the COVID times. So, once again, a warm welcome to Shivatsa sir, Shiva, Saurabh, Kunal. You always have been very supportive for anything which comes to youth, and it's beyond the definitely it's your company and organization representation, but somewhere all of you have a special presence for the development and growth of the youth of this country. So let's hear a warm welcome from Niharika. You are also welcome, and I gave this give this to you to welcome our panels, and then we start the show. Over to you, Niharika.
Good afternoon, all the viewers. My name is Niharika Jain, and I'm the student of Ellen City College. First of all, I would like to welcome Shivatsa sir, Shiva sir, Kunal sir, and Saurav sir for giving their valuable time to our career Pathshala. We are really grateful to have you here, sir. Thank you for giving your valuable time.
Pleasure.
thank you.
Thanks, Niharika. Actually, I just called Niharika some 10 minutes back and I said, you have to be in the show. She said, we have all the eminent personalities. How can I be? I'm very nervous. I don't want to be here. So I said, yes, then you have to be here. So, setting the context, all the students are nervous in this and in this COVID times, everyone is nervous. But we'll make you comfortable, Niharika. We have five of us. We'll try to make you comfortable.
Thank you,
Sure.
sir.
So, with the context on placement scenario, COVID hitting the world into this pandemic, bringing all of us in a special situation, having Srivatsa Saurabh from Bangalore, Shiva from Hyderabad, and Kunal from Delhi, we are getting a great opportunity to have you on screen. And putting the context into picture, I really would like an opening comments from Srivatsa sir, who is director for recruitments at Tech Systems. More than he has been knowing the fresher hiring in and out from technical to HR perspective. So I really want you to set the context. No better than you presently can put this into context. So an opening remarks for the theme of our discussion today. Shivatsa sir, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Anuj. Thanks, Niharika. Guys, thanks for the opportunity. I would tell that. Answering the context, I would say probably all of us would have dealt with the current sort of scenario in our lives. I'd say, how do you deal with uncertainty is what we may have to figure out at this point of time. We may have dealt with uncertainty in all our lives in some way or the other, right? And uncertainty opens up a lot of opportunity. And probably all of us would have gone through that. So if you sit for a minute, look back, retrospect or introspect, whichever way you call it, and think through as to how to deal with uncertainty, I think you're out of it, because any cloud, any dark, dense, thick cloud would have to come down, and there is light at the other side, which you would definitely see. So during this testing times, I would say probably what you should do is sharpen your axe, upskill, continuously reskill, look out for opportunities, and wait for the opportunity to come round your way. So uncertainty will definitely move away. The cloud will definitely pass, and there will be loads of opportunities. And during times of uncertainty, also there are multiple opportunities that normally come up, because when one industry, say, probably slows down, there is something else which is sprouting up. So when you are equipped basically to read through what's coming, that's when you are equipped. So I would say probably we'll talk more about dealing with uncertainty. And any questions, say probably, I don't know, Anuj, how we take it. Say probably somebody moderating would say, pull them up from the chat and bring it to us, or how to deal with. So that's what I would say. Let's say probably try regroup our thoughts in setting up ourselves for something which is beyond uncertainty. This is something which will definitely go away. This is a momentary phase. So this is all about how you manage it. Back to you, Anuj.
Exactly. So the key word is uncertainty, and how we hold hands and sail through this uncertainty. But your remarks, Saurav, on this, and then we go to Shiva and Kunal.
First of all,
Your opening remarks, and then yes.
Sure. First of all, good evening, everyone. Good evening, the respective panels. Good evening, Niharika. Always remember, Niharika, everything's got a first time, right? So this is the first time for you, so don't be nervous. You'll come out through it. Dr. Garg, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. This is a little emotional for me in the sense that I used to work for CII 5 years. I left the organization 10 years back. So I used to arrange these shows on behalf of CII. Now I myself have come as a speaker on the platform. So I was just texting my CII group that life comes to a full circle for me today, right? Maybe when I was part of the CII, I would connect people like you, Dr. Garg, and set up this kind of events and panel discussions. Now, 10 years down the line, I'm part of a CII platform. So thank you so much for giving that opportunity. As Srivatsa sir said, that's a fantastic thing he started with, like uncertainty gives to opportunity, right? And other thing what he touched upon was reskill and upskilling. These are very two critical points in our life today. We as a professional also, when we are coming to the last 4.5, 5 months phase of working from home, we've started interacting and a lot among the team members as well. We've undertaken a lot of transformation journeys, which we would have not got a chance in our daily schedule of so much work, travel, and everything put together, right? The one transformation which happened was, and which we could foresee maybe 4 or 5 months back, and we've completely set our model to accommodate to a complete virtual hiring process. To touch upon that, I would always assure you as a open remarks, fresher hiring will definitely happen this year as well, because as I always plan to say that freshers are the future generation, future workforce. Without them, nothing is complete, right? So freshers can be assured hiring will happen. Maybe it take me some time, maybe go little virtual way, all those things. Some changes will come in, but hirings will definitely take place. That I can say as an opening statement, and later on we can deep dive on these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh, for giving a positive fire to the context, and from uncertainty to hiring is going to happen. So, what's next in the platter, Shiva, from your side, and any opening remarks for the session?
So good evening, everyone. Anuj sir, thank you for counting me in this event. I was just saying, sir, that okay, when sir was mentioning about thank you for giving your time on a Sunday, I said like okay, I think I'm kind of spending some productive time by interacting with the students, and from our end. We kind of discussed about the hiring plans and all. But having said that, okay, a couple of speakers like Srivatsa and Saurav spoke about the positive things about the uncertainty. Even there is an uncertainty, there is a ray of hope at any point of time. So, which we believe the same thing. And in the coming days, if we look at some of the businesses, definitely has contracted, but there are some other businesses, okay, which has kind of scaled up. And one of the reason is like, okay, a recent virtual recruitment drive which Cognizant has planned. Some of your students have also participated, and during this time in challenging times, we kind of came up with requirements for some of our business units. So we believe that okay, it is going to continue in the coming years. Yes, okay, there is a question mark at this point for some of the businesses, like, but having said that, we do see a growth in coming from other verticals, and students at this point, they can be rest assured that they kind of would be able to get some opportunity, and if they use this time to scale up, okay, and then refine their technical skills. So that's from my answer, and then okay, we can move on to the next speaker.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much for bringing in a positive note, and we are all setting the context more for the session to start. And Kunal, your views on the present scenario and how setting your context, bringing your views to the show, so that we can then take it from here.
So first of all, thank you for giving me such an opportunity. I'm very obliged to be a part of such an interaction, wherein I can bring some perspective, to the students. I completely agree, with the other speakers' opinion about this uncertainty. And in my opinion, what I really think about that this uncertainty has actually created a lot of curiosity in people's mind, which was typically not there. And if I have to comprehend how this uncertainty has changed people's life, I think in corporate world we have always heard a very common term which is called as change management. And now change management is basically applicable in everybody's life. Organizations have big offices, mass workforce, never thought of working from home will become a business as usual. Typically work from home was something which was available, like from an organization standpoint, once in a month, once in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. There was some specific timelines how people will operate. But now going things completely virtual, that's the biggest change for big organizations, where you have lakhs of people. And my folks who are there as part of the panels, have we ever thought something like this before? We couldn't comprehend that this something like this happened. Can we sustain in this model for pretty longer? Today the answer is yes. And can we grow with this situation? Yes, definitely. I think we have been in the last 4 months, the uncertainty has come in people's mind because there is a lot of curiosity about what's going to happen. But I think people have actually changed their perspective, what next is going to be, which has actually created a lot of opportunities for people. There are, from an industry standpoint, there is a various examples, that how this COVID has worked out well for different companies, as well as what has not worked out well. And if for situations which have not worked out well, I think they have now created an opportunity to work something well. So they are trying to strive to fight things out, from this pandemic, and that's the biggest change. And for that, I would also like to tell students that it is not just because there is an uncertainty so that people have to be fear. There is no fear about that. Maybe we may not get a clarity today, but there's definitely something which is there in the future. So that's something which I want to give from my perspective on it.
Thank you, Kunal, for the completing the circle. And yes, the uncertainty is giving definitely a new possibility of opportunities. And from how it's going to happen, people are looking what next. So what next challenging, what next exciting is coming on the way. So but just to start, like people are very a lot of students and the fresher community was very much wanted to know. The pandemic was a sudden surprise to major companies with a huge volume of workforce, and all of the companies were very critical in businesses. So a small how companies handled this, and from normal going to offices, shifting to total online, how this transformation happened, just putting a deeper context to our COVID crisis, that how would you migrate it. So in any style, anyone who wants to go first. So, Srivatsa sir, yes.
Oh yeah, cool. I was just waiting if, say, probably somebody would want to take. This style of working specifically for, I think all of us are in the IT space on the panel, so probably some more diversity in would have brought in some more flavor, is what I would say. See, for us in IT, this style of working is not new because probably all the people on this panel work for global organizations. If you look at it, on the same project, people would be working from far east in the Japan to the far west, somewhere sitting in North America and work on the same project. So connectivity was never a hassle. The place of delivery was never a hassle for somebody working in IT. But for the community, I should say, specifically with our culture in India, we are all office goers. We still ring the bell at 9 a.m. We still do a stand up at 9:30, and then on your scrum calls, and then all that stuff used to happen like a regular routine, like the way you do your primary education. Though we were used to this style of connecting remote, we were not used to. But yeah, the same thing started happening virtually. If you look at the schedules now, in fact, we were just taking stock at Tech Systems. If you look at, after we cut down travel of all the people here in India, the productivity basically from number of X hours has gone up to X plus something now. So people are able to do more value add here, uh, and say probably this is giving a few more ideas or concepts to basically the operation side of people as to how they can lesser the burden charges on each of the things that they do, right? So adapting is the only thing, Anuj, as I told earlier. If all of you remember Darwin's theory, what he told is it's not the strongest nor the luckiest who would survive through it, but it's the one who adapts to change is the one who survives. You should understand what's the need of the hour, stand up to that, and say probably quickly adapt. Obviously, all of us, the first um, I should say reaction to change is no always. How do I do this? But yeah, the sooner you adapt to it, the quicker you get in there, the quicker you soak in the things that are required at that point of time is something which will enable you to be more successful. So with tech, um, I would say probably restrict this to the hiring activity of what we were doing. We always still believe in recruitment one face to face round. We basically want to say get to know the how the person walks into your office. How does it say probably feel to shake hands with a candidate? That's something which all the hiring managers would definitely miss. But yeah, they are trying out, figuring out alternate ways and methods to do it. But when it comes to campus tech equipped itself to go virtual before the pandemic itself, if you cite what we did was, yes, we did a HR visit where we like to meet and greet, but all our interviews happened online. All our technology interviews and all these things happen online. So probably that was a hindsight. No, not actually. We wanted to go digital and say probably we wanted to try out as to how efficient we can be, say probably covering the distance. Because travel is something which takes a toll across everybody. Hosting people, making interviews happen, large gatherings and things like that. So I think going digital was the way that we cited much before we got into that pandemic. So the transformation when it comes to tech was not that big a transformation, but yes, few quick changes had to be made in the way we approach, the way we come together. Our meeting boards had to be created differently. Our touch points had to be created differently. Yes, there were few alterations that were supposed to be made on how we operated, but I think all went well because we understand, at least in the IT, that agility is the only factor. If you are agile enough, if you are quick to change, then you will survive. But yeah, I would say just not in IT, other industries also are making transformation. See, and again, one concept I would say, the only way out from any amount of uncertainty is innovation. And innovation has a broader subset of change in it. So I think sooner you adapt, sooner you do it, you would get over it. That's what tech did. And if you look at our tagline, it will own change, and we are just going by it now.
Very good. Deep insight you brought in about change, adaptation, and innovation. So, as the companies, people in the industry, with senior people and all CEOs, all running the company, all of a sudden there was a lockdown, and everyone has to work. The work has not to stop, but to migrate from offices to home to new offices at home. So the shift of work has already happened from office to home. So how the new joining of students? We heard a lot of online joining happening in for the people who have passed out and now waiting for joining. So how the online onboarding happened? Saurabh, probably if you want to take this, how the for the batch, the online onboarding, and how is the new change for people in the industry? It's easy, but for freshers, how this change is happening, and we'll maybe take few comments from all.
Absolutely. See, onboarding typically for us or for any organization, typically the onboarding would start from the month of June, right? That's when the fresher comes out of the college, finishes his degree program, and joins it, right? So this year, moment it hit us, right? That's when the planning started for us. That how do we onboard them? Initially, we were estimating that things may improve. We will be able to do a physical onboarding, but we realized very soon that this is just increasing and there's no end to it, right? So we are shifting to a completely online on virtual onboarding now. We are not encouraging any students to come to any of the Capgemini locations. What we are doing from them is we are taking some kind of information from them about their infrastructure availability in terms of systems, in terms of connectivity and all those things. And that's how we are planning our onboarding. We've started some small phases. The onboarding started in the month of July. We will increase that. So what we are doing is the students whom we are planning to onboard in a certain possible timeline. Say I'm just giving an example. I may have an onboarding date on 21st of August. So a month back, my team or the operations team has reached out to the respective students through phone calls and emails and all, understanding their infrastructure availability. Wherever possible, we are trying to reach out to them with supplying them with infrastructure. But students understand are located all across the India, right? Not everywhere Capgemini is an office. So sometimes we are requesting students to arrange an infrastructure so that we can give them the necessary activity access and connectivity so that they can virtually onboard and start work on the project that will be assigned to. But yes, onboarding has started in a small way, and it will take a larger shape in the days to come. And as far as the current plans we go, will be completely 100% virtual onboarding. We are not expecting anyone to report to their destined locations. If someone is identified for Pune, and if the candidate is somewhere in Bhopal, he's expected to work from Bhopal right now till the situation improves and we do assessment of situation, and then only we'll make them travel. Otherwise, till the time it happens, he or she is going to work out from his hometown and still work for Capgemini.
So all the airs, all the clouds, news about the joining delays and all is not just a fact. And students and youth should believe in the industry that it is growing and the onboarding is on, and it's happening already. Shiva, any comments and how the industry in general and your organization? A quick comment on onboarding, then we go to fresher hiring.
Dr. Garg, before Shiva proceeds, sorry Shiva, just one
Yes.
No.
There will be some delay. I won't say that there won't be any delay because the business is understanding the situation, evaluating the current situation. They are trying to mitigate a lot of risks and plans, right? There can be slight delay, but students can be assured onboarding will all happen. Whoever has been offered will be onboarded in the days to come.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. Yes, Shiva.
Yes, sir. So with respect to onboarding, so we have tried a virtual platform in an M&A events, but then those numbers was very limited, and in the month of March when there was a lockdown, so the onboarding was on hold as we didn't had plans to onboard for at least some 20 to 30 days. because I mean we had to set up our internal system strong. Only then, okay, the volume base of an onboarding can happen. So any of an and the previous activities, whatever we have tested, it was in very lean numbers, which is why, okay, we didn't want to take in chance by extending an onboarding date to the students, or maybe for the lateral joiners. But having said that, okay, from the month of, I mean, last week of second week of April onwards, we started the onboarding of lateral as well as the campus hires who were in pipeline. And just as a number point say, like last month we have onboarded close to 1200 plus ELTs, I mean, who were recruited for the 2020 batch. And for this season, I mean, for this month, for the month of August, we have plans to onboard close to 1300 more students. So this would continue because, okay, it is tested effectively. And as Saurav said, okay, the on background work is in progress for all the companies. Like before we onboard anyone, there is a network team, and there are operation teams, okay, which are doing a background work in terms of delivering the laptops. So it went in such a way, sir, like, okay, some of the people are located in different locations, and wherein our systems team had a tie-up with the DTDC and India Post and everything, wherever, whichever the medium they feel that, okay, the laptop or a tablet can be delivered by whichever means, okay, they have tied up with those institutions, and then it is working out. So we don't see any challenges at this point. But there could be as I said, okay, initially there was some hiccups to initiate this onboarding, but it is all settled now.
Great, good news for the youth of this country that onboarding is happening. Now we would like to bring more focus on the hiring, the future of hiring, and the people who are in the final year, students like Niharika and the juniors, that how would be the possible roles of hiring. Definitely, I think you all will be going online. So how would be the new hiring process? We take it with Srivatsa, and then we go to Kunal probably on the new plans of hiring.
Yeah.
And there's a second question which I will come to it a bit later. But how are the plans for the youngsters in colleges for the new hiring, sir?
Yeah, I should say, because I haven't heard that from any of my colleagues across the industry telling that this year we are not going in for campus. See, all of you need to understand there are some things which say probably any corporate would decide on at any point of time. I'm just speaking or telling you the story from the other side, from the organization side. I'll tell you why companies hire freshers. If you understand this logic, say probably all of you will feel that yes, we have an opportunity. See, across in the IT industry, one thing is measured, which is the average age of an engineer in the organization. And if you Google it and see, normally in IT, the average age of an employee is kept at 27 years. Expect that average 27 years. There are a lot of logic and reason as to why it is pegged so low. See, all of us need to understand the way business happens. All the industries have certain clients, and the way these industries build these certain clients is by engineer. The amount of work efforts that this particular puts is charged by hour, right? And these rates never go up. If it is pegged at $12 or $16 or $18 or $20 or $50 or whatever it is pegged at the same over years. The scope for change in the bill rate that you can bill to the client to increase is very minimal. But what is bound to increase is year on year salaries that you pay to any specific employee in any company, right? When you join, some of you join at 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and 12 lakhs, or maybe 20 lakhs also. But what will happen at the end of 2 years? If you are at 6 lakhs, your salaries obviously have to grow up by X%. You may move to 9 lakhs or 12 lakhs or 13 lakhs. But on the other side of it, the client who is, say, probably paying you wouldn't increase what he's paying for that particular role. If it is pegged at $6 or $9 or whatever it is, it would remain the same, or the percentage of growth is not proportional to that of your salary increase. And I hope that my colleagues here on the call would definitely agree to this. So this is one challenge that most of the organization or all the organizations will face. For a matter of fact, none of us tell it openly, but during these times, I think if you understand how the mechanics work, basically that would give you a lot of ray of hope. And what happens is, over a period of time, when people get in, they say probably grow with the time. That's where, say, continuous upskilling and reskilling is required, so that you build on your experience and you are worth your experience. With Tech, what we did this year was we designed a program called CHAM. We called it Campus Hiring and Mentorship Program. We took a different approach. What we used to do earlier was, the human resources team from our side would travel, go and meet these students, give them specific insights about our company, do some amount of handholding, and continue with the process. But this year also, we have an amazing program that we have already set. A lot of students from your college, Anuj, have participated and are in for the mentorship program as well. So we took this program to the next level. We believe in getting fresh blood to the organization as always, because believe me, millennials have that in them, that they can change the world. It's just about them trying to learn what's best suited for them, upskill their skills, learn deep, and say probably start producing what they have learned to and put that into action. I think at Tech we have initiated our campus hiring program. We are in leg 3, which is through the mentorship. We are doing 60 to 80 hours of remote mentorship on all technology uh, subjects that we are trying to do, and then we will take them through the last phase of hiring. And I think it's the same with most of the company. Maybe TCS also. I was speaking to somebody at TCS and Infosys a couple of days back. Their hiring plans haven't changed, but the way they used to manage their recruiting has changed a bit. Not fully though, but yeah, it has changed a bit. They are becoming a bit more slim so that they can take this leap in a much better way.
So Kunal, coming to you, like how you see the fresher hiring market this year for industry, in particularly IT.
I honestly don't feel, that it will be impactful in terms of how people are anticipating. Like I said, there is a lot of confusion in people's mind. I mean, people are thinking that this pandemic is basically is more of a situation where people may not get jobs, or there will be no new opportunities. But like I said, how business dimensions are moving these days in different companies. There are various examples. Uh, People never thought that e-commerce, if you see, I mean, there was a study which was there that e-commerce organization have seen a profitability post-COVID or pre-COVID, and the kind of businesses that they have done in the last 3 months, there is a huge variation. So I mean, when e-commerce, which is completely depend upon people, on various platform, how they're operating, they can grow. And of course there are various different businesses that are coming up, because this pandemic has actually given opportunities for new businesses to coming in. There is a lot of load shedding that is happening, in terms of different pockets of businesses that are there. And if I talk about from the industry where I am, which is into analytics, it's a greater opportunity for us in terms of looking at, how we can comprehend new opportunities into different business areas. So I don't see that there is going to be a larger change in terms of, the requirements for students coming from campuses. It will probably remain the same, or if it may dip a little bit, only on one factor, which I think the organization will be more focused on doing quality hiring. Now, how does the quality comprehends? Now, quality comprehends wherein people are coming up with different propositions to hire people. Uh, Today, it's if I talk about, there is a lot of there is a world called as hackathon, which is becoming very very popular. You go to IITs, or for that matter, some premium institutes. I mean, if you see 68% of those folks who are there in campus are able to identify jobs for them before the placement time. And the reason why, because they are trying to do hackathons, they're participating into different contests, to what Srivastava said about upskilling, reskilling. They're trying to unlearn a lot of new opportunities, and basis that the the organization may become a little selective in terms of what we want to hire, but nonetheless it doesn't change the numbers requirement. It may look for people that organizations are hiring less because of the pandemic. It is not like that. It is a greater opportunity for students to upskill themselves, come out with different perspective to look at opportunities. Time may only difficult in terms of selection, but no, the volume is only going to be more from a quality standpoint. So that's what probably I want to bring on to.
Very relevant thought on quality and the type of technology changes which is happening in the IT world. Definitely quality is required. Very well said about the e-commerce thing. We survived in this pandemic maybe because IT was there as a support system. Like honestly, everything when was not working, thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's digitalization, when he had probably the envisioned of the digital currency and online transactions were easy. Even a sabji wala had a Paytm account or maybe an any account, so it was quite easy for us to. And WhatsApp was there, so we just could manage in the initial lockdown periods. So your views, Shiva, and then we go to Saurabh for how the fresher hiring scenario you think how it's going to be. A quick note from your side, and then we go to Saurav.
Okay, so talking about a fresher hiring, before that, I just want to talk a couple of points which we have initiated last year. I mean, in terms of a change when it comes to a fresher hiring. So during a discussion last year, when it was like minus 45 days of hiring season, we had an internal discussion. How do we proceed? I mean, in a unique way compared to the previous years, and that's where we kind of had an discussions internally, and then we started working with some of the vendors who can support a test process with an AI-based test process, and that's where I think we started it by taking a risk. We know that we got to understand from some of the TPOs saying that this might not be a right model, because traditionally we have majority of the organizations have are kind of following on a proctoring based test process. But having said that, we took that risk, and then we initiated the test process of AI based test process last year, which was well accepted by many of the students and as well as by the placement officers. In a similar way, virtual interviews, we did not initiate it last year, but we did try in smaller numbers in all the IITs and NITs, whichever the IITs and NITs that we have visited last year, since those are remote locations and some of them are remote locations, and they give us a slots only in the month of December, which is a peak time, peak travel time, and then because of climate conditions, majority of the times the flights gets cancelled, and in that situation, the only option to hire or interview candidates is only through a virtual interviews. Even though it is a lesser number, we have completed it successfully, and we for this season we foresee that all the interviews, everything would be done on virtual platforms. We are testing it internally, and that's where when I have spoken with you, I have advised that the students should be equipped with a better systems, so that they take an advantage of an interviews which is planned by on a virtual platform by any of the companies. Now, coming back to your question of what is the future of hiring, I mean, how does it look like for the coming batch of students? As all the speakers said, I would accept with them that this is definitely going to be a challenging time, but at the same time, the numbers, we may not talk about it at this point of time, but having said that, equality is definitely a tipping point for all the students, and the time, okay, what they can capitalize at this hour is like, okay, they have missed out on a travel time. I mean, they need not travel all the way from their home to college and then back to home. I mean, so this is a time wherein, okay, they can capitalize, and by attending some of the seminars and also webinars, okay, which is conducted by different mediums. And even if you look at, okay, there are many online mediums wherein if a student wants to learn any course, I mean, he need not he need not visit any institution to learn those courses. There are many online platforms which they can capitalize at this point. So we suggest the students to refine their skills, take advantage of the time whatever they are spending at at home, and then, okay, they would definitely find in good opportunities if they invest their time in skilling up themselves.
So the
Just on the same lines, Anuj, just on the same lines, I would say probably I remember a quote that I read, say, probably when I was up north in one of the military bases. They had put up a board which was amazing. That say probably printed in there, which told, "Sweat more in peace, so that you shed less in war." I think this is a time where you sweat more in peace, so that you're well prepared. You have your ammunition right in place to take and conquer the world. And the similar lines, the late American president told, if you are given 8 hours to cut a tree, what you would do. Told, say, probably I would use 6 hours to sharpen the axe that I used to cut the tree, and in 2 hours I would cut the tree. So that's the only thing I would say. Prepare for the things, and say probably you are in a much better place to conquer the world.
That was a master stroke. So, Saurav, your points to add on fresher hiring and how definitely how students should prepare is my next question. But you can throw some light. But we'll come to that specifically for the next question. Like, what would be your view on the same future of hiring for this batch and coming like?
Srivatsa sir, two fantastic statements, two sixes actually in two balls. Right? Really love them. So as Kunal and Shiva mentioned, that see the quality will play an important role this year, right? So I always love this statement or this ad by Shah Rukh Khan. This one of the perfume ads he does, where he says that the word preparation comes before success, even in dictionary, right? So to achieve success, you have to prepare very well. Otherwise, you can't. What will happen this year is that, see, when you are into a face-to-face kind of an interview in a physical scenario, it is a very warm, cordial environment where the panel gives you time to settle down, to talk about things. But in a virtual scenario, things are very different. So the students has to really come prepared in terms of the kind of projects they have done. They need to know their subjects pretty well, and they should focus on the communication, because those 15 minutes on the virtual world is going to be critical. In that 15 minutes, he or she has to convey the things they have known, they have learned, and what they can learn in the long term, right? To give that assurance to tech, it's a very difficult task for a technical panel to assess someone in this 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes timeline, and especially virtually, right? The students need to prepare well on their subjects, on the projects, and focus on the communication. That's one. Second is that some of the panel said a lot of courses are available online now. We as employees also undergoing a lot of courses, whether it's Coursera or some other platform. Whatever comes in your way, grab that opportunity, learn that, skill yourself well. As Srivatsa sir says, sharpen your axe as much as you can, because you never know what tree you have to cut, what size of the tree you may get the chance to cut, right? So keep your axes sharpened well. Third part, coming to the hirings, yes, there'll be some conservatism from the business unit in terms of the numbers, right? So please expect some kind of competition, right? But I can also assure you the numbers going to improve. As Shiva said, that we may not have the correct numbers right now, but the numbers going to increase in the long run. See, the business has to survive, right? The work has to go on. Maybe it's taken a little slow pace right now, or what I can say is a temporary pause button has been pressed right now. But the play button, when the play button gets played, the business will come with full sense. The numbers will start looking better. These are two bits from my side, Dr. Garg. Yeah, Dr. Garg. I guess we lost him. Am I audible?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are,
yes.
sir. You are, sir.
I
You are,
guess
sir.
we lost Anuj.
Yes, probably connectivity issues. This is one, let's say, all of us are dealing with daily, every day. So,
Yes, I think that was something from my end. It just there was a spike or
Yeah.
something. So sorry for this
That's
discontinuity.
fine.
Yes, Saurabh, we are hearing you
So
about.
yeah. So that was some few points from my side, which I said thought of in terms of quality as well in terms of quantity. I wanted to cover with you all.
Truly said, like very well brought in. Also, the student should understand the global market is very uncertain, and at this point of hiring is a prospective hiring, which for the final year students, earlier the numbers were very clear. Companies at this point are between whether to start now or later. There are a lot of issues, but in this uncertainty, when everything is uncertain, even the exams happening in the colleges are uncertain how they are happening. There is continuous change in the UGC policy. At least the industries and the especially IT industries showing bullishness and uh, promising opportunities for freshers. And definitely in coming times, as Srivastava sir said about adaptation, Kunal talked about quality hiring. Shiva and Saurav also had an opinion that the best will definitely get a good fit, and this is the time to prepare well and to come up with what is being required. So Kunal, any tips for students who are going for fresher hiring, what industries expect in general, and how they should be preparing themselves? And so this is an important thing which we want to share with our viewers. किस
So
तरह से तैयारी करें?
I think if you see, how even you've talked about, UGC changing policies and all that. So a lot of things are going through change, and the best part to adapt change is to, take an effort to take that change. Students first of all have to be rest assured about one factor that this is not the time when they will not get something, but they will definitely get it. The way to get it would be slightly different than the traditional way how things have been prevailing. To give you my perspective, I've also worked with organizations. My previous organization like Ericsson and HCL. I know the volume perspective game, and my folks who are there, on this platform. There was a different perspective in terms of hiring people. This year we know, we have to take that conservative approach. Now with that conservative approach, when I spoke about from a quality standpoint, how does that differentiate? It differentiate basis what other than what the students know will give them a larger perspective. So I spoke about hackathons, I spoke about, my folks talk about Coursera. There are different and if you see, e-learning today is becoming the new game. Even we never thought, there are such big institutions that are there in this country. We talk about IITs, NITs, and institutes like LNCT. I visited LNCT so many times. There is such a big infrastructure. We never thought that infrastructure will not be operational. The only thing which will be operational is going to be, students sitting on their home. The professor is going to teach them virtually. There's going to be a class of, 60, 70 folks, or maybe 200 folks, sitting, and then, convocations are happening, through virtual mode. Never thought that such a large audience will be actually getting their degrees, through virtual mode. But yes, what changes now for hiring is going to interdepend in terms of what competitive skills which the students are bringing in. People aspire to get into analytics, but there are different tools which are there in analytics, right? Is this? Most of the things are not there. What industry is looking for today in the academic sessions which the colleges, but now student being at home gives a larger opportunity for them to upskill them with different e-learning modules that are offered by different e-learning websites. And by investing in them, along with their what they're studying is going to make their quality much better. Testing their waters, through hackathons and various competitions which are running on different websites is going to be another game that various organization will be looking at. So I would like to say to the students, you have, there has to be that this curiosity should also be generating some, I would say that fickleness in your mind, that there is something extra that I need to do. There is something different that I need to do, which probably my peers are not doing, or maybe which is not very traditional. I have to come out from that stereotype and do something better with my whatever that I'm learning. And this time I'm able to utilize in, like what Srivastava said, sharpening my axe, so that I turn out to be more better than when it comes to a situation wherein they could be it is survival for the fittest. So I should stand out better, and that's the way industry will look at quality hiring. That's how probably today I am going to look at my organization's requirement in such a manner that if I get more people who are employment ready, I would say, who are somebody with less investment can give me a larger productivity. I think that's where I would like to invest.
And Dr. Garg, I would like to add
Yes,
what
Saurabh.
Kunal said was that when I spoke about preparation, right? So we were talking about the technical skill sets, the online course and all. Other thing which is very critical for a fresher is the emotional quotient, right? They have to be flexible. I have seen a lot of freshers. I'm not pinpointing anyone, but I visit a lot of campus every year in the campus, and I've seen a lot of freshers say, "No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into coding. I don't want to do a testing room." I would tell them, be flexible, buddies. Whatever opportunity comes in your way, please take it. Please lap it up, right? These are all your stepping stones. You build on this.
Saurabh, I would say probably, I would tell you are very sweet. I would say probably go one step low, stand there and take what comes your way, right? Because you need to build on what you get. See,
Exactly.
because on the same lines, when I say probably meet the younger generation, see, being choosy is good, but being stubborn is not good. So what I can resonate to what you are telling very much, Saurav, because it's very similar on the lines, very similar experiences that each one of us go through when we meet aspiring young professionals. So, guys,
Exactly.
similarly on the lines, take whatever comes your way. I would say if you get an opportunity to do an internship without a pay during these times, grab it, build something, and then grow from there. I've seen the first question what normally people would ask is it an internship? How much would I be paid? It stops there. They are not keen on knowing what is the work they would do. What is that sum they would be adding into the wholesome picture? I think you should go from that particular angle, pick whatever comes your way, and try and grow it big from there.
Correct.
Only if you get to that attitude of picking things that are coming your way and then molding it into your shape, you would definitely make it. See, guys, understand one thing: the world has gone through 50 odd recessions thus far. It's not a small number. We have gone through great four recessions in IT itself. Everybody has survived, but everybody who had a nerve to hold on, who had a cling to make things, are the people who survived. So to get there, I think very right on the lines that acceptance factor to reality is something which is very much required. And across all these things, technical edge, competition, everything, one factor that across all the companies that would look for is a cultural match. Because your technology skills, um, I don't, I would not say that your comprehending skills can be taught. That's something which comes in, but your technology skills can be taught to certain extent. You should have the basic level of it, but culture is something which cannot be taught, which will not be taught. Everybody in the HR fraternity will agree to this, that you need to be human. Your approach, the way you would look at, say, probably gives you that upper edge over the rest. I've heard some great guns and great companies sitting and asking a simple question as to what would you do with your parents if you are asked to travel out on a job, and how do you intend to take care of them? This can be a critical judging factor of what your mindset is. These sort of things are things that you need to think on. So that cultural quotient is again something which you need to keep intact. Grab anything that comes your way and try and grow it big. Is say probably my bit of thing. See, I can list down competencies, A, B, C. Tell okay, you have to be adaptable, flexible. You have to have data literacy. You have to have leadership skills. You have to have tech savviness. You have to have critical thinking, emotional intelligence, creativity, innovation, digital, coding skills, commitment for lifetime. All said and done. But basically, holding on to the pedigree, trying to be a human, trying to represent all these things is very much required. So if you have that thing in you, if you're strong enough, if you are committed to what you are doing, if you are if your sound supports your thought, if you are able to connect your tongue and your thought, then you make it through. Sorry, I
So,
took more than what I
Saurabh,
should have.
No,
yeah,
Srivastava, fantastic. You just complimented what I said, and
you
so
brought the
that,
human touch and the self belief with the freshers should have. Sort of anything on the learning curve and something which companies expect and will be more expecting in this COVID situation, because like company like yours is a bulk hiring company. So anything which you want to add
see the
in terms of, yes.
absolutely. So basically, students can learn what as part of their curriculum, or if they want to learn who's someone who's coming from a non-CSIT circuit background and wants to excel in a IT industry. He or she can utilize this timeline to understand, learn some programming language or something, some new technology and all. But as an HR person, what I would look into a person, whether it's from CSIT or circuit backgrounds or core branches, whatever it is, he should have that learning agility in him, open to learning, right? He should be flexible enough to adapt or pick up whatever been provided to him as a technology company, and take that opportunity to sharpen his skills. That is exactly, as an HR person, I would look into a fresher this time. That, oh, flexible, the word flexible, I keep repeating the word, and I guess you also learned said that, the grabbing. So don't be choosy when you're talking to an HR interview. Don't be choosy that what kind of role can I do, this can I do that. So I can assure you, in every organization, multiple role comes. I can give you my example, right? I'm in this HR role for the past 4 years, and I was paid in this organization for 10 years. I was part of the pre-sales team. I was doing solutions for my clients, right? And from there, over the years, I've transitioned and become a HR person. So opportunity comes at our level as well, right? So for the fresher, it is even more. They are clay that which can be molded in any shape that we want to form. But the clay needs to be soft, right? Otherwise, you can't do anything with that.
So Shiva, your thoughts? I think most of the things covered, but I just want to bring one picture that a lot of students and their parents, India as a country, we with the per capita income and the type of students pressure is there. Somewhere campus is something. A lot of students come into education colleges for looking at one thing, probably what campus placement is. So it's quite emotional for me. The reason I continued from 15 years in the same role, because a job really matters, and the first job matters the most. It brings a changer for the entire family. And so how you think that a lot of students believe that we are from Hindi medium, हम non IT हैं, हम mechanical हैं, and I am from a civil background. Just 1 month is left. So, what could be your message? Because you have traveled all parts of the country and made thousands and thousands of offers in single colleges. So, how they can use this in last few weeks before getting into campus? This is I will try to take something from everyone, but I want to start from you.
Okay. So a couple of months just before lockdown, I think, okay, I happened to see a large hoarding when I was driving down to my office. This is a hoarding of an SBI mutual fund actually. So it's nothing but it's mentioned that, okay, invest now to be part of 5 trillion economy and 5 trillion Indian economy. So my message is also something in line to that, Anuj sir. So anything, okay, what we speak with, we advise the students, we would say that invest, invest, and invest. Three things is, again, I mean, I would say invest. So one is the first thing to start with, invest their time to sharpen their skills, whether it's related to their communication skills. Second thing is invest their time to experience themselves in the technology. So it's learning is not an theoretical learning is one part of it, but experiencing themselves in the technology is the second part of it. And they would be able to come up with an unique solutions or in anything. Okay, they can be successful in any of the hackathons only when they experience themselves in any technology. A third thing is about invest their time in terms of believing themselves and invest in themselves, wherein okay they feel that okay they are equipped with everything, I mean whenever they get an opportunity. So I would say three things, which is invest, invest, and invest. It's all about investing their own time in the well-being of themselves and upskilling about themselves.
Awesome. So these are the three mantras which I will take back to my students. So Kunal, you want to add, and then we go to Saurabh and finally to Srivatsa on this. The last, as a coach, the team is going to play your final words before these guys in next 2 weeks hit the campus in next 1 month.
So,
Yes.
Anuj, I just, I think I, all my fellow speakers, uh, you know, are basically telling what exactly do an organization need. And now, I mean, everybody know, I mean, technology is something people can learn. And it's not that once they are in job, any which ways the organization responsibility is there to make them learn. Agility and attitude and cultural fitment is going to be, for me, is going to be, I think that's the top priority for any organization. Agility about, and when you said that people from different streams, I'm from this one and all, so students don't have to be scared about, or maybe for that matter, they don't have to have dilemma in their mind. Right now it's the time, and I think this time has actually made people learn about that, how you have to come out of the situation instead of being part of the same flow. So what differently that you can do, how can you change within yourself, and irrespective of how the other population is comprehending, you have to stand out better. And your cultural investment in terms of you becoming a different individual, your curiosity is going to make you learn more. Your I talk about the flexibility standpoint. I mean, we always say that when we go to the interview, we hear that people are very, very flexible. Yes, I am flexible, but when it comes about real testing times of that flexibility, there people sometimes fail. So are you able to see that you should not do that? Yes, that is going to be something which is there. Being futuristic in terms of looking at today, what I'm going to get, I'm just making an investment for myself to learn something what probably I will not be able to do that if I didn't choose this. That attitude change is very, very important for each and every student. Today I may get into testing, I wanted to do development, but understand that if I'm able to invest larger amount of my power in understanding testing in a very different manner, I can do something better into testing into something else, and what probably a normal scenario in development would not do. So if that kind of change people have to, students have to bring in their mind, I think they will make count of each and every opportunity that they're going to get, whether it's going to be in any domain. And that is where people have to see that what I'm choosing today is going to be something next tomorrow, and when the next is going to be, then I have to think for something, and that's where the growth keeps on happening. But today, if I'm going to say what I'm going to do, down the line 5 years by choosing this today, that should not be the way students want to think. So invest today for a better future tomorrow is what I would like to tell students.
Saurabh, your lines for Niharika, she'll be attending campuses in 15-20 days. So what students should like from computer science, non-computer science, few pointers.
Sure. So I'll take Shiva's line: invest, invest, invest. Shiva, I've taken this line. I'm going to use it in my future talks as well. I like it. It really means a lot. Those 3 words means a lot for anyone.
And you guys will be sharing slots also in many campuses. So students will hear the same lines.
That's fine. For students like Niharika, and especially you put out, Dr. Garg, that the students from CS, non-CS, non-IT or core branches, how do they approach? See, when you are planning for or when you try to focus your career towards an IT company, you should show that in the way you've prepared yourself, the kind of courses you have done. Number one. Number two, end of the day, when an HR comes to your place, he looks into for you, he or she looks into your engineering mind. End of the day, please remember you're an engineer, whether it's a mechanical, chemical, civil, it doesn't matter. We look into your logical reasoning, cognitive ability, analytical thought process. That is different from a regular graduate. That's what is expected to be different from a regular graduate, right? Keep that mind sharpened and agile so that when you're meeting the HR person, you are able to demonstrate those kind of skill sets when you're having a discussion. So those would be my advice to you. Please don't have this blockage in you that I am a mechanical engineer or civil engineer. If you have thought, in spite of being a mechanical engineer, you want to make your career in the IT industry, first of all, prepare yourself well. Take out this mind block that what engineer you are. End of the day, you are a BTech. That should help you to grow, and that should give you the confidence to when you're meeting a technical person or a company representative. That should be your confident factor that end of the day you are a BTech, and along with others you have also have a degree in your hand, which is doesn't matter. You are all at par. It's a level playing field. Show your keenness to learn and grow in that job, which would be a key factor when you're coming for the technical interview.
So we now with Srivatsa sir, finally your words for the team going to play rugby. It will be a rugby snatching the offer from one another, and definitely the survival of the best has to be there. And your advice, and then I'll have one more question. And before I leave you, hope it's okay with your. It's extending time, but a lot of students are getting benefited, sir. Your
Sure.
remarks on.
I would say always invest, and invest more when the market is low, because that's the right time to invest. Yeah. So I would say first thing is enhance your health and hygiene in these times, and that's the most important thing that's required. Accelerate smart learning, manage your flexibility, right? Mitigate your skill risk, communicate openly with empathy, stand together, and speed up your digital readiness. If you do some of these things, or whatever my friends earlier told, like Shiva, Kunal, or Saurav, I think, see, it will be do, and do, right? Because how much ever you do, that is insufficient at this point of time, is what people feel. But I think do what you feel is right for the humankind or the mankind at this point of time. That's the first thing you need to do. Guys, understand one thing. All of us would have an opportunity, and it's just a matter of time. Just hold on your nerve. Just be patient. Be empathetic. Stand together. Because if you look at this entire, let's say probably go back March sometime, what was the first thing all the countries did? No countries came and thought of technology. No companies came and thought of what they need to do. The first thing they did was, okay, let's take care. Let's say probably put everything in place and see that people are safe. That's the care that you should say probably start putting in your thoughts. I think that is something which will grow all your thoughts, all your prospects into a bigger horizon. One thing very broadly I can say is a lot of work is going to come down to our country. I've seen that happening. Yes, some segments of the industry are going low, but yes, there are other segments which is, say, probably growing multifolds. The skills that are required in those industries are also getting different. Like, for example, I would just want to cite this example: production. Uh, uh, Everybody told that this is just going down, but just look at the transformation of how from where to what has happened. I was just reading through or hearing to one of the talks by Mohandas Pai. He was telling how Havells transformed what they built in Noida very recently. They have their largest plant in Noida now. which is manufacturing Havells fan, and that has zero manpower except for the guard who is standing outside the gate guarding the entire premises. This is completely AI and robotics driven. But again, that's a mechanical industry that's happening. So, in where labor was required, that labor, say, probably is required to reskill a bit, get into robotics, get into automation, get into CNC programming, and things like that. That upskill is happening continuously. So, consider all these factors, look at the opportunity, catch the tail of the bull the first time you see it, and don't wait for the last one. I think if you do that, you have it in your time. Be patient, be human, stand grounded, and grab the opportunity that comes to you. I think that way you will make it right and you will definitely be successful. And don't ever lose hope because opportunities are coming and it's coming big time down here in our country.
Thank you so much about this thoughts. And before we leave, I also would like to convey one message to all students about failures, about not getting into. And in this pandemic time, most of the time, the change would be earlier. What used to happen was we used to announce as a placement officer. We tell how many are shortlisted, how many are not. So there were maybe brothers and friends who will take them. Now they will be with their parents. The change maker is there at home, and anyone, if maybe whatever their levels of preparation is. What I believe is every individual is special, and maybe he should not be checked on certain parameters, and we cannot give a statement. Yes, if he's a tech system or a Capgemini or a Cognizant or Wipro or Extria Select, so he's a good fit, and maybe if Sachin Tendulkar gives the test of Cognizant, he would not be able to clear it, but he has his own way. So let's talk about failures because the youth in this pandemic is equally a bit frustrated and it has something a new challenge. So probably I will not be there. A lot of times we are there just motivating, pushing, and just doing things. So your messages we'll take from Saurabh, Kunal, Shiva, and again last to Srivatsa, so that the final acts will go. So Saurabh, we start with you. Your message for in case people fail, if they feel ki, I don't have time to prepare. So your final message, and then we close down. Yes.
So when you mentioned a failure and you mentioned about Sachin Tendulkar, right? Sachin Tendulkar must have played 700 innings for the country. He has got 100 centuries. Do you want to say that he has failed in the 600 innings that he has played? It's no, right? How you approach the failure is that's different, right? And unless until you fail, if you fail, that means you have tried something sincerely. If you don't try anything, there's no failure, no success, right? So moment I believe that if you try something, and everyone has failed in their life some way or the other, right? But important is how soon you can come out of that failure, right? You should know your subject or your job so well that you can understand what has gone wrong, what has triggered the failure for you, mend that way and come out of it. Don't take into yourself that, oh, I failed, I can't do anything. It's not the right approach. Then you will never move in your life. You only fail when you try something, right? Either you succeed or you fail, right? When does it happen? The scenario comes when you're trying something, right? So know your subjects, know your job so well that even if you fail, you can work on it and come out of it. That is my simple mantra for failure. Everyone fails in life. And as you said, Dr. Garg, Sachin Tendulkar also made zeros, right? But he still has 100 centuries to show, and which no one in the world has now. And we don't know when in our lifetime we can see someone doing 100 centuries, right? So failure, and as we all learned in childhood, failure is a period of success. It is actually the period of success. Believe it in your heart, believe in your mind. That will help you go, and don't get a negative impact in case you fail. In case you don't qualify the first job interview, so what? You have multiple opportunities in your way. Prepare yourself well, practice yourself so well that a company is forced to take you. They can't say no to you, right? That's from my side, sir.
Yes, Kunal, then Shiva, and then Srivatsa. Or any word or any statement. Yes.
I think So I would like to say, and there's something which I imply in my life also. I don't term failure as anything that has to be named as failure. It has to be named as learning. Every time you fail, it's a learning. Every time you succeed, it's a learning. And there is just one sentence I believe in all the time. Kuch na hua to kya hua, tajurba to hoga. So if you have that set of attitude, you will always see a bright light at the end of the tunnel. So if it doesn't happen here, that means doesn't mean that it will never happen. So
पिक्चर अभी बाकी है.
students have to just always feel one thing about that fact, that if they fail in one interview, have that attitude, uh, that it's okay. I was not meant for them. I'm meant for something else. So and do better what you are not able to do in this interview, and do better in your next interview. And if you're still able not able to clear the next one, then you should know that what I am not supposed to do in this interview that I have done in the last two interviews. So, like I said, your failures are your learnings. Learn something from them and then implement something what you have learned.
Yes, Shiva. The three things for failure.
No, I won't say anything. Three things about on failures part, but then I would say, like, if a student is able to complete his engineering successfully, I don't think he should be worried about his failure, thinking about any failures for himself. Reason being, I we run a program called a train and hire program, and then one of the question that I repeatedly get from the students is, sir, what do I do? I mean, if in case I do not complete the training successfully. I say that there is no chance of you not completing the training successfully, because you have completed your engineering. So there is a part of learning agility in you, and you can learn. It's not that you cannot learn it. Everyone can learn. Yeah, having said that, everyone passes through challenging times, but it depends upon the individual, how much do they believe about themselves. If they believe in themselves, I think they can definitely pass on the challenging times.
I just want to add one thing. What I used to say to students is, at times, I remember Cognizant interview. There were around 8,000 students shortlisted by you. A big task you give always to people like us. And when I entered the auditorium, I was feeling only one thing. Everyone was tensed. And everyone knew this company is something which takes hundreds and hundreds. So this is the opportunity I can be on the other side. So when I went to the auditorium, I could feel it, maybe because of being with the students. And I said, okay, I want a phone which has some music. So probably I'm the worst in music. So I got one of my student, and we had some Dhinchak music. And honestly, if you ask 2020 batch, we played 3, 4 good item songs, and we invited people to come and dance. So celebrate your pressure, celebrate your stress, and just feel it. It will open up. It will give you next space of your potential to go up. You might not have experienced it. And numbers, Shiva, you know how we were, and we were very terrific about it. So celebrate your failures. Give a Cadbury to yourself when you fail, and say, "Wow, I did something." And about believing, I always say, if you say I cannot be into IT, I am from a village, I am from a Hindi background or a mechanical background, मैं बच्चों से यही कहता हूँ कि please ask your mother, कि अपनी मम्मी से पूछो कि are you not capable of doing this, and you will see in her eyes that yes, my son can do anything in this world. So take that confidence from your parents, take that belief from people who believe you. And if this doesn't happen, we have Shivatsa sir who will tell us how this belief will come. Sir, next to you.
So definitely, I when in failure, right? I just remember that Hindi movie Sarfarosh, when this guy says, "आसमान में लाखों तारे हैं, तू नहीं तो कोई और सही, कोई और नहीं तो कोई और सही." So that's a way of just looking at the failure, nothing else. I mean, okay. So just look at failure. If say somebody turns a no to it, say, "Bro, what's failure, man?" It means to tell that your aspirations are at a good level. If you are falling short of expectations, that's basically failure. I would say fail first and fail fast. That's the new mantra in the industry today. Fail first and fail fast. Why fail first and fail fast? Because you'll be cutting down your losses to a very short gap. And it's absolutely fine to go through this particular process because your expectations from yourself will grow up. You would be much better than what you were when you failed to be more successful, like, right? So it's absolutely fine. Fail first, fail fast. Tu nahi to koi aur sahi. Towards an opportunity, but give it your best. Don't let go of an opportunity with that attitude, but accept it with that attitude, and then the world turns around for you. So I think that's the way to look at it, Anuj.
Thank you, Srivatsa.
And I'll
Yes,
just take
yes.
one line, Dr. Garg. I'll just take one line on as a happy note that don't start collecting chocolates. You can give yourself a Cadbury if you fail first time, but don't start collecting chocolates. Right after some time, you develop diabetes.
Yeah.
That's my simple take on you. Right, you can gift yourself a Cadbury first time, second time, but you should learn from them. Point, you should learn from them, and so that you're in a position to gift yourself something else than a dairy milk. The more dairy
Guys,
milk you
something here. I just adding it to this. Basically, see, take this as a learning experience
yeah.
because um, this one guy, friend of mine, who's a campus hiring expert at Infosys, was addressing a huge gathering at Chennai. He was telling none of us forget to ride a bicycle, but all of us forget Pythagoras theorems, right? Because we learn, we experience it and learn. That's what happened when you get through an interview process. It's not your Pythagoras theorem where you study, where you put a square plus b square is equal to da da da, right? You pedal it through, you fall, you get injured, you learn from that injury. It's basically the four quadrants from where I don't know and the world knows to I also know and the world also knows. So just stay there. It's a state of bliss. You would definitely get through that. So just have that acceptance to failure again, which is very important. It's absolutely fine to fail, but have that acceptance factor to failure so that you take it as a learning experience and you get good from that.
So
Back
with
to you,
this,
Anuj.
the excitement and the amount of energy you all are bringing in, definitely we have exceeded the time of show. But the energy and the involvement all the panelists have brought about, and this shows that kahin na kahin in your mind you all believe that all the youth of this country is the future of this country, this beautiful land where we all are born, and wherever you go you might have traveled to all countries of the world, but somewhere India has something of a beautiful essence, and the youth is the future. I really thank Srivatsa for coming in, for the rich experience you carry, and it was just yesterday or maybe day before, I just WhatsApp, hey Srivatsa, I'm not finding that I want the panel. I want you to be there so that we can have the show. And you said, okay, let's talk about it. And today you are here. So I really thank you for that, for being here. And also you have been a great guide for a lot of, a mentor for a lot of not only students, but placement officers. I really thank Saurabh, who is more than an HR, but a friend who keeps coming and talking about the new technologies, just pushing, hey, your campus selects has to be trained, I know do this. We are coming up with some state level opportunities. How can we give the benefit to Madhya Pradesh? And I really thank you, Saurabh, for coming in on a Sunday evening just before Rakhi festival and spending quite a time. Kunal, you have been always forerunning for the bringing opportunities to Madhya Pradesh, and your insight and the type of role which you are handling. Definitely, a lot of inputs from you have benefited the students, and this career Pathshala your coming has made it a great success. Shiva, a big thanks to you, and I keep calling you anytime and every time I feel that something is not happening. Maybe in my career, maybe with some students, and you always give a new way of doing things. The three mantras are the great at the closure of the Savan, and we will definitely take that from you. And we hope to see you all back at Bhopal at campus. And we really thank you from bottom of the heart on behalf of students coming down to Career Pathshala. It's all about you guys, and as you come in, this Career Pathshala actually becomes significant. So,
Thanks,
Niharika, your final vote of thanks from Niharika. Let's listen to the girl who is just being silently waiting and listening to all of us. Yes, Niharika, we all are at yours. So, your vote of thanks, and then we close this show.
Thank you everyone for your valuable time. The session was just amazing, and students were really very worried about the placements. And after listening to this session, they will really be benefited from that. And I thankful and grateful to Mr. Anuj Garg sir for giving me such an opportunity. He just called me 5 minutes back, and I was very nervous, but then also he motivated me. Thank you very much, sir.
So, hope you
Thank you so
enjoyed
much.
Career Pathshala, Niharika.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, final words from all of you before we close. One or two words for all the students, and then we close.
I say
Popcorn
thank
style.
you and stay motivated.
Stay
safe.
motivated. Yes. Sorry.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay safe. Kunal.
I think sort of stole the word. Yes, of course, stay safe, stay motivated, and I think the only one thing I want to tell everyone: you are the best.
You are the best.
You are the best.
Believe in yourself. Yes.
In yourself.
Shiva.
You will do something. You will do something. You will definitely do something.
Invest in yourself to know your potential.
Invest. The word invest. Great. So, thank you so much, and you are the future. Believe in yourself. Thank you so much, our honorable panelist. The great. This is one of the best sessions of Career Pathshala we had. A very engaging one, and a sincere gratitude to everyone on behalf of the student fraternity. Thank you so much for your time, guidance, and support you are bringing in for the students and your valuable organizations who are committed to make India one of the digital superpower. Thank you for all the work and efforts you guys bring in this COVID situation. At least the youth is feeling positive about something good to happen. We really admire the pressure and pain you take. Thank you, Srivatsa, Saurabh, Kunal, Shiva, and Niharika for joining in. Thank you so much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Anuj. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.